And then once I got past that hard song, it got easier.
You have some divine intervention.
Definitely.
It's true.
And they were screaming for more when I left, and I went.
It's true.
So
How many songs in the set?
we did four songs.
Really? So literally you was only on between what 9:30
30
and 10
minutes.
maybe. Yeah, literally.
I was on for 30 minutes because that's the way they had it scheduled. There was a lot of people on the lineup. It was really Nile Rodgers' moment.
Okay.
And I was just featured on his
Right.
set.
Okay. Okay. I mean, how did you get to hear about that in the first place? How did that work? I mean,
They
was it
actually
sort of-
called me. Nile had been working with a team of people that had sent some stuff over to me, and we'd actually started working on a song that was incomplete at the time.
Okay.
But he just wanted to, you know, I guess he was really, really interested in sharing the stage with me.
Do you want us to move closer?
Just face each other.
No, I love looking at people. There we go.
There we go.
Oh, listen, you're blushing now. What are you blushing for? She's blushing. What are you blushing for? Don't do that coy stuff. Don't do that coy stuff.
No, I'm not blushing. I'm flattered that, you know, she says, no, act like you're, you know, talking to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
It's more.
Now I've got to say, believe it or not, the way we've been talking now is how our interviews are.
Yes, good.
There is nothing more to them. So literally, if you can imagine, let's give you an idea, let's give you a scenario. Imagine we just met in a bar and I didn't know who you were and you didn't know who I was. And we were just sort of feeling our way through things, as it were. That's
Right.
exactly how our interviews are. So,
Okay.
so I don't know if you've ever seen any, I mean, we've interviewed Layla Hathaway and Gregory Porter, and we can name drop forever. And the interviews are exactly the same. They're all very laid back, and
Right.
you won't get any other interview like this. I
Okay.
promise you won't, Stu.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, so all we do is we just go through stuff, and the interesting thing with you is there's so many different facets which I can pick on at any given moment.
I know.
Well,
I know my life. It's crazy
well,
sometimes.
if you didn't know Angie, I'd be worried because I don't. It wouldn't be a crap interview.
But you know, it's crazy because, you know, at any given time I'll have an epiphany of something that I had actually forgotten, and you know that I'd done before. So
There we
when
go.
that happens, it kind of trips me out, and I'm going, hey, wait, you know, when I can remember when me and Tyrese weren't speaking for a long time, and now we're so cool, and he's actually, you know, blessed my life. So it's, you know, it's those moments that come up because I tend to forget a lot of the things that hurt me.
Well, that's human nature, though, isn't it?
Well, you know, you normally you don't forget things that hurt you. You hang on to them.
No.
I block it out. I kind of block it out.
You know, like when you have a partnership, like you're seeing someone.
Oh, that's what I'm going to tell you.
Well, that's what I'm no, but hold on. When you have a partner and you're seeing someone, years later, after you've broken up, people always say, well, why did you break up? And well, for me anyway, I always think, well, what the hell? I can only then remember the good things. I have huge problems after 5 or 6 years trying to remember why we broke up in the first place. I think maybe it's just the way we're conditioned, where we just forget the rubbish.
Well,
And just
when
remember
you're
the good
saying
stuff.
that, the thing that'll probably make you laugh about me is I have a tendency to be so engaged
We've got
with.
things happening. No, come in.
Oh, that's my wonderful manager.
Hi,
Walter.
wonderful manager. Hi, Walter. I'm good.
But I have a tendency to. It's sad to say,
You remember the bad stuff.
I don't remember them at all. It's some I like block them out,
Okay.
and I have to remember that. Oh wow, I did date that guy for 8 years. Because when I'm done with you, unfortunately,
Really.
I'm done. Memories are like
They're like a breadcrumb. A breadcrumb in your
I'm a
bread bin of life.
Sag. I don't know
They've gone.
if I'm speaking for other Sagittarians, but there are certain people, and it's sad because you don't mean to forget them, but you do.
Maybe that's a good thing. As long as you,
It's
as long
good
as, long as you
when-
take, as
when
long
the
as you take the
pain is-
lessons. You take the lessons and then you.
Now
move
then
on.
there are the ones that really hurt you, but you love so much that it endures for life.
You know what? We got some stuff there. And do we want that coffee right here on the table now, Walter?
That hot tea?
Yeah, whatever you've got. What do you want any of it now? Because you're looking at it. I can look at that look. Look at the look. Look at the look. Look at the look. It's like, damn it, I could do with that sandwich.
Oh, no. I won't eat the sandwich now.
You won't eat the sandwich?
No.
But what about the
warm
tea?
Yes.
I think we should have the tea. Should we put the tea in a teacup for you, or do you?
Yeah, that'll work.
Let's get a teacup and we'll bring it. Yeah, because it looks a bit sad like that.
I don't know where teacups is.
Oh no, Sarita, can you? Thank you, my dear. Yeah, we'll just get some. No,
Wait,
we'll take
you
this.
gotta
We'll take this
take
and
the tea.
let her take the
Give
tea,
him the tea.
Oh.
and she'll put it in a cup and stuff, and we'll.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah, we'll get that sorted out.
Okay. So we can continue. I got it.
Oh, no. Yeah. So no, it is interesting because my memory, as I said, I always forget. I can only remember the good things,
Right.
and that's when you need friends around you to remind you. Can't you remember what she said to you? Can't you remember what she did to you? And you think,
yes.
oh yeah, but it wasn't that bad. Yes, it was.
I know. But you know what? When you have a great heart and you have a forgiving spirit, because the key to life is forgiveness. When you have a forgiving spirit, you tend to, one would say, sweep all the bad stuff under the rug. And you take the position of, you know what, I just assume it never happened. And you pick up where you'd like for it to go from there.
That's probably what's happening.
Yeah.
That's probably, and as I said, as long as I think you learn from the lessons, that's the important thing in my mind. Learn from those lessons.
Absolutely.
But I tend to forget the bad stuff. It's really, and it's happened to me so many times. I think I can't remember. What was the problem? I can't remember. What was that?
Well, sometimes we have to remind ourselves not to forget. And, you know, I get in trouble with that a lot.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, I always joke with my audience sometimes going, you know, I have a big mouth because I love the Lord out loud. I love him in the dark and in the light. And sometimes the enemy gets mad at that. And when I say that, I mean just in general in life, I tend to talk about certain things.
Right, okay.
Maybe I shouldn't talk about to the press.
Okay.
But again, I have a big mouth. And I have to remind myself not to forget what hit me, so to speak. So I remind myself by reminding the world, and they won't ever let me forget it.
Well, no, because now we have the internet.
Oh yeah, that's the
So now we've got a whole new
the
ball game.
worst thing.
We've got a whole new ball
But
game.
see, you really got to know when to be quiet on the internet, because those things will never go away.
Yeah, so you have a whole new thing. Before, maybe if you did a TV program, you did it all that. If people missed it, they missed it, and they weren't going to catch it again.
Right.
But now, over and over and
Over
over
and
again,
over.
which is good in some respects,
In
but also
some
it can be
respects.
tragic in other respects as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now, the reason where I'm going to start this is I think the tea's coming, but when the tea comes, we all just cut and let her bring it in and put it on the table.
That's cool.
And I just want to say to Angie, thank you so much for coming in and joining
Thank
us
you for
today.
having me.
No,
Thank
it's my pleasure. It's my
Likewise.
pleasure. So your flight was kind of
Oh my God.
eventful.
Very eventful.
You managed to relax though a little bit, didn't you? Just before you got here.
Well,
Have you had time
yes.
to relax?
Oh, before I got here a little while, but my first nightmare came when the first plane was about as big as the space we're in now.
Okay.
And it's funny and
Go
it's
on.
sad at the same time.
Go on.
I had to take a jet from Chicago to New York, and the jet was this big, literally. Had one bag, a backpack.
That means it's a private jet. You was in a private jet. You was
was
doing
in
that
a
diva thing.
private-
Was you doing that diva thing? Ain't you?
No, because they got me the cheap version. Okay, I would
How do
prefer-
you have
I
a
would-
cheap private jet? How
You
does
got
this
a
work?
cheap
What, you mean
one, and then you got
and
the
one
lux-
wing, not two. How does that work? How do you have a cheap private jet?
well, you know what? It all depends on what cheap is.
Oh, okay, it's true.
I say cheap because
Okay, go on.
you have very little leg room. Okay.
But you're not the tallest person in the world, Angie, with the greatest respect.
Very little. I got short legs, so
Okay.
that'll tell you something.
Okay.
Okay. But what I didn't know is when getting on the jet that, of course, there's no toilet. I didn't know I was going to have to fly almost 4 hours.
No toilet.
So
on the
I
jet.
bought no snacks.
Okay.
Sad.
Angie, hold on.
Okay.
To ease the pain.
Come on.
To ease the pain, come on in and lay this down here. Just to ease the pain.
Very good.
There we are.
Very
There we are.
good. Thank you. Would you like a cup of tea?
What is it? Just tea?
Just tea.
No, I'm fine.
No,
I'll just have a
just
glass of
regular
water.
tea.
I'll just have a glass of water. Would you like some honey, my dear?
Yes, of course. You don't want to drink my tea?
No, I don't drink normal tea.
Oh, okay.
I'm
What
one of
kind
these
tea do you
weird
drink?
herbal tea, like mint teas and.
What kind of tea is that, Walter?
This is just regular black tea.
Regular
Yeah,
black tea?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like green tea too.
You've got a jumper somewhere. What jumper? Well, yeah, let's do that. Let's do it right now.
Is that okay?
That's
One
fine.
spoon in
Yeah.
there, is that
No.
okay?
You
What?
put one? Yeah, just put it all in there, honey.
All of that?
Yeah, because it's for my voice.
Okay.
I've done away with sugar and that kind of stuff, so it's just now I put honey in coffee and in tea.
All right, okay.
Okay.
I went through that phase of I dropped sugar and used to use honey, but now I've managed to drop honey. So I'm kind of proud of
Agave
myself.
nectar's even better.
So now you're just drinking it plain.
I just drink it as it comes. Just
There
drink
you
it
go.
straight. Yeah.
Thank you so
There you
much.
go. No
There we go.
problem.
So you was on this budget, a budget private jet.
Budget baby is what I call it. And so it wasn't until after we were buckled in on the runway that, oh, we should be there in about, try to get you there in about 3:30, 3:45. I'm like, what do you mean? Hours. And I went, oh God, I'm going to pee on myself. Excuse my language.
Oh, because there was no toilet in the plane, of course. Is
Oh
this
my
because it was?
God.
Is this
I
because it
didn't
was a
have a lot
budget
of
private jet?
time.
I've never been on a private jet. Do they?
I don't think a Learjet does. Some of them are a little bigger than others.
But this one didn't have space for a toilet.
It was this big. If I took a picture of the cockpit, you would be the pilot.
Oh wow! So it's intimate. Intimate.
It was tiny, and when you think through
Cozy.
Yes. He was actually tall,
Oh.
if that means anything. But in any event,
No, the height of the pilot wasn't. Anyway, carry on. Anyway.
his head actually went to the very top of the jet. So if we like hit a bad wind or a cloud bump, I was afraid. So he says, I want to brief you. And so I'm like, okay. He said, should I become unconscious or, so that to me, if you fall asleep, because now we're 3.5 hours, you take this red button and you push it this way. And then you grab this thing. You see this, you twist it and you pull it down and there's a parachute and the plane will just float. So now I'm breathing hard because I'm going to float. Where?
Well, there's nothing to hit when you're up there, Angie. There's nothing to hit.
It's a jungle out there.
Well, up there.
It is a
Up there.
jungle. And I didn't want to land in the jungle with lions, tigers, and bears. So my mind went through all those phases. So, it's hard to go to sleep once you find that kind of news out. So then he said, here's a little packet here. It has snacks in it. So I said, okay. So when we took off and I looked in there were 4 waters, 2 Cokes, a Sprite. I don't do soda at all.
You counted the quantity of drinks and.
Yeah, because I'm thinking survival.
Oh, okay. Just in case it goes
And then
down,
there
you
were
want to know.
2 protein bars on the side.
Did you eat those, or did you save those just in
I
case?
ate one. I took a bite out of the deep, deep chocolate one and went. So I'm looking for some potato chips. I'm looking for survival.
You sound like a real budget private jet. There was I getting jealous that you'd come over on a private
it's really
jet.
healthy. No, because I don't think that they thought that at 1:30 in the morning I'd be up, that I would probably just sleep.
Okay.
But you've got to be able to stretch out to really sleep.
So you're here now in London.
Yes.
I
made it.
You made it. And you don't know how pleased we are. You don't know how pleased we are. You performed last night.
Yes.
How did it go? Did you knock the crowd out? How was you?
Oh, the performance was brilliant. It was on a wing and a prayer. And I just have to say that my manager was in the outside waiting for me when I got off the plane in a panic. And I didn't know he was panicking because I for some reason, I lost time somewhere. And it could have been on that small jet. But I thought the performance was today
Okay.
or the day after. And lo and behold, It was the moment I got off the plane, I had 30 minutes to hit the ground running. You know, so when you're flying a total of 10 hours, 12 hours, you're trying to wear pajamas on the plane. So when I get off the plane, I'm dressed down as comfortably as possible. No makeup, big shade, you know, that whole hide.
Well, I never
And
do
then
this,
when
of
I
course,
get up,
but I can understand.
when I get off the plane, I'll just say, Miss Stone, you have to be on stage in 30 minutes. So you don't want to know what we went through to get there, to get dressed, to get a little makeup on, to get to that
You got
stage.
changed in the car? In the car?
I got changed in the car. Who told you? Somebody was watching.
In the
Who
car?
was watching?
In the car. Were the windows tinted?
The windows were tinted.
Enough?
The driver got out. Some people walked by and they looked like they slowed up and saw me. I was in my brassiere at this time, and I'm like,
Well, we know we
You know,
are.
I'm like-
We're very reserved in England. We're not used to seeing people with brassieres and
Well,
breast
I
showing in the
hope-
back of a car, getting
Really?
changed in the middle of the evening. No,
but guess
it's-
what? It was something weird going on because we were in a bunch of trees. And then at one point, I thought I saw a car wanting the car I was in to move out of the way. And I'm like, buddy, you're just stuck. I'm not moving and I'm not getting out. This way, I was in
This
halfway
time
in
you were-
between my girdle and...
The phrase "too much information" springs
It
to
is?
mind. Yeah, really.
I told you I talk
I don't
too
want
much.
to. I don't want pictures of seeing you
I
half
talk
in
too
and a half
much.
out of your trousers. And
Oh, you won't.
well, okay.
I stayed seated the whole time.
Okay. That's good. You were very ladylike as you were putting your pants on in the back of the car.
I had to do what I had to do
Well,
to make the show happen.
you've got to do this. The
I
show's
gotta
got to
do
go
it.
on. The
It's
show's
gotta
got to go on.
And I've got to be there
With the pants.
with the pants.
Yeah, exactly. I understand that. I understand that. Now listen. I was looking into your career,
Uh-oh.
and I was just shocked at how much you managed to do into me in a relatively short period of time. And when I looked, well, the first thing was when I discovered that you were one of the first sort of girl hip hop.
So you think almost 40 years is a short period of time?
Yes.
Ooh.
Especially when you look as young as you do. There you are, you see.
Oh,
So I was shocked that you was in one of the first girl hip hop bands.
Yes. The sequence. I
Now-
was Angie B at the time.
Okay. But so what? Were you the singing part of the band, or were you the rapping part of the band, or how did it
Both.
work? You used to rap, but I've never
I
heard.
still rap.
I've not heard you rap. rap
You
and flow.
told me, baby.
I've not heard you flow.
Yes.
You
I
want to
flow.
give me a little bit of a flow now? Well, come on, you walk straight into that one. Come
Well,
on.
I did have a song.
Can you remember what you used to do in the sequence? Can you remember anything from the sequence days?
I did one song where my rap was, I rock the Army, Air Force, and the Navy too. One nation under funk, red, white, and blue. See, A is for Angie, B is for bad. I'm something that your MCs never had. When I walk in a party and my spurs start to rattle, I know for a fact it's an MC battle. Give it up, the shit out, do what you want to do. I'm Angie Stone, and I'm busting loose. But I came here without a doubt to hang out with you. So let's work it out.
That's kind of cool. So you still got the flow. You still got the flow. So when I read this, I thought, I've never heard a rap. This must be a mistake. Maybe you were the singing part of the band, but
I
no,
was that too.
you were the singing
Well,
and flowing.
do you remember Dr. Dre's Keep Your Heads Ringing?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's a remake of the song that we originally did.
Okay. So that's see, a lot of people don't know this about you. They
Yeah,
know.
well, see, the girl that tried to do, hey, you sitting over there, better get up, body. That was me at 17.
Okay. Okay. So from the sequence, we're going. So where are we now in the 70s? We're right in
79,
In
80,
79.
early 80s.
So from the sequence, you then moved on. And
From the sequence, I moved on and I got a job. I left the group. I left Sugar Hill Records. Started from nothing. Went ahead to join a group called Vertical Hold.
okay.
Trying to be discovered. It took 12 years to get discovered with that
Wow.
group.
So you really worked at that one.
I really, really worked. I paid for studio time. I went in, met
Was that
the
live
people.
stuff and recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And the first huge song that we had was Seems You Much Too Busy. I originally wrote it for Mantronics.
Okay.
And decided I wanted to keep the song.
So at that time, you were in touch with Mantronics, I'm guessing, obviously.
Yeah,
at
I
that point.
started working with Mantronics
Okay.
and writing for Mantronics.
Oh, right. Okay.
At the same time, doing Vertical
So what kind
Hold.
of stuff was you doing writing for Mantronics? Was it, I can't imagine. So what kind of songs were you doing? Were they sort of hip hop songs? Were they more?
They were,
were they more
like, I
vocal
think
based
they were
songs?
in vocal-based songs.
Okay.
You know, I ended up working with Curtis, of course, Bryce Wilson, who was one half of Mantronics,
Okay, yeah.
who was very locked into hip hop.
Right.
He was that hip hop version of Groove Theory.
Right. Okay.
So
Right,
you know,
right.
I worked closely with them, and which is where I met Jerry DeVoe, who was cousins to Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz was someone that I played saxophone for in the Let Love Rule tour.
See, this I read as well about you. The fact that you used to play saxophone. I thought, no, this must be wrong. I'm reading
Yeah.
the wrong biography.
No, I played saxophone. For
Okay.
Lenny
Do you still
Kravitz.
play? Do you still play now?
I let the saxophone go because I started seeing people's lips get really pink, and I'm like, my lips are too big to get that pink. I better stop.
So this was a vanity thing why you stopped doing sax.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about.
I mean, I love the sax. I love hearing it, but I don't love playing it as much anymore because, you know, it's hard to do all of that.
No, yeah.
So you got to pick and choose your battles. And
Right,
I
okay.
decided to follow up with my songwriting, my singing.
Okay.
So I hung out with Lenny for quite some time. I was there at the birth of Zoe.
Okay. All right.
I actually, you know, got to hang out with him, Lisa Bonet, the entire band, downtown on Booth Avenue. We all kind of lived together.
So you and
for a
Lenny
little
go
while.
back a long way.
A long time. I mean, I got to hang out with Zoe this past year and introduce her to my now 19-year-old son.
Okay. All right.
And it was weird because I couldn't believe what a lady she's become, and I was like, you don't know me, but I've been knowing you since birth. So you know, when you go back that far, and you know, you keep turning a page in Angie Stone's book, you'd be surprised at some of the things. You
Yeah,
find.
when I saw the Lenny Kravitz link, and the fact that you were co-writing things with him and back in the day, I thought, wow, I never knew there was that side of you.
And then I started demoing stuff for his cousin, Jerry DeVoe, who was Devox. He had asked me to demo some things and to actually, I think he was doing a deal or something with Capitol, and there was a couple of songs they wanted to do a feature on. And I said, okay. I think I did about 3 or 4 of those for him. And next thing I know, then I was getting a call from that we had like this big record. I'm like, we? Who is we? And they said, well, you're a new group. I'm like, I don't have a new group. And I think the confusion has always been they thought that Devox was a group. But Devox was Jerry DeVoe, and I was a featured artist on the project. But somewhere in the vault, a lot of the demos that I did turned into licensed projects.
Right, I'm with that.
That Jerry DeVoe ended up releasing. And they were demos, and some of them I wrote or co-wrote, to which I've never been compensated for to today. And I've heard that they're huge all over Japan and London and Europe. I mean, just so it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, it must be when you see your hard work going, people are profiting from it, and it's not you. I mean,
well, when you demo for $200 because you're really just trying to help a friend, you just don't expect for them to exploit you and take advantage. I've never pursued. A lot of people say, well, why don't you go and do this? Because, you know, again, I tell you, forgiving is better than living with the lie.
Yeah.
You know,
I got that.
I don't have to live with that, knowing the truth.
So how do you feel? I mean, what I was going to say. My question was, when you all of that time when you were sort of doing demos, how are you making things pay for yourself? Because
I was already a star in my own right. I was with Vertical Hold.
Okay, all right.
And I was writing for the people.
Good. So music, you were doing music full time at this stage.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and when you got to remember, I was playing for Lenny Kravitz. I was already established when I met the cousin.
Right. Okay.
So I really was just trying to help the cousin out.
Okay. Cool. So from there, the first album.
Black Diamond, the solo album.
Because the first album was how long after Vertical Hold did that first album sort of come out? Was it released?
Oh wow. After 12 years of getting discovered with Vertical Hold, we had a very short-lived career at A&M Records. We did 1 album. Actually, we did 2 albums, but by the time the second album was released, Seems You Much Too Busy was at the top of the charts. now the black division of A&M was shutting down. Sharon Haywood, along with Babyface, LA Face, and all of them had now taken over. And I was a part of the Kevin Evans clan.
Right.
And I found myself back to square A without a deal.
Right, I'm with you.
And I'm like, I looked at my group, and at that point I said, I can't do another 12 years of being in this group. The struggle was too intense, and I just felt like I had compromised so much of who God wanted just Angie to be for the group. And when I say that, it was so many times I was offered solo deals, and I figured we've put too much into this to just leave them. So no, I'm going to see it through. So that was a clean break for me, because now we've succeeded. We've had our level of success. Now it's, you got to go for yourself.
And were you ready for that? When Black Diamond sort of came and sort of, he kind of wowed in London, in the UK, it sort of rocked everybody. He rocked everybody. Was you ready for the success of that?
Well, again, I was not ready.
It's been a long time coming, but were you
I
ready for it?
wasn't really prepared for it. Again, I guess I should thank Jerry DeVoe to some degree, because it was because of the release of Life Story and some of those songs that he had done originally as a feature, when he glopped them all together with work that I had done in the States, which was Every Day, which everybody knows that D'Angelo did. He produced that on me. I wrote it, he produced it, which, had a whole lot to do with, he's been infuriated for years because Jerry DeVoe took that song and put it on the CD, and basically claimed production, and that couldn't have been further from the truth. And as a result, D'Angelo was mad at me, but I was over there along with him when all of that was going on over here. But I have to say that after sitting down with Arista and letting the powers that be know that a huge mistake has been made, they understood, and they rallied behind me full force on going forward. Mervyn Lynn, along with Jed, June Sarpong, all of these were my Fiona Ramsey, all of these were my team members that really believed in me as an artist and went forth like 100% to build the Angie Stone brand. And it made it a little easier for things to kind of go away. And then all of a sudden, they kind of tried to take me back to the States and claim me as their own. But it was basically through the UK that I got discovered and really respected. So was I ready? Absolutely not. Was I prepared properly? Yes, they took their time. And I would have to commend the UK, everybody that I just called, along with the entire team at Arista UK, that gave Angie Stone the brand, the moniker, the success, the bird's eye view, because you have to remember, in the States, Black Diamond was the last project to come out that year. Because, of course, I was overshadowed by some great artists on that label, and Whitney Houston being one of them.
1999.
Yeah, that time it was a lot of big artists, but unfortunately, they had failed to hit the mark for Arista in the States, and No More Rain came out of nowhere, and they had to look around and go, who is this? I've been signed to the label, and they weren't even aware that I was there. And the song just kind of just said, it was like a bowling pin effect. Okay, you move, you move, you move, strike. It was that kind of thing, yeah.
And you were ready.
And then Clive, got to know me. Peter Edge, we sat down, and Aaron Freedom Lyles, a guy who we call Freedom back at home, along with a young lady by the name of Stephanie Bolton, and I sat down and crafted that Black Diamond CD that, in my opinion, was phenomenal. Mahogany Soul, by the time everybody was on board, was Angie Stone after the birth of my son, after being behind the curtain, so to speak, of a famous artist for a long time and overlooked. I went in with a vengeance, and we created Mahogany Soul with my my son, not even 3 months old, laying on a fender rose while I
Really?
stayed in a dark room. Yeah.
So as far as the songwriting is concerned, is it really, as they say, is it your life story? It's like a pun, really, what I'm saying. But I mean, I'm trying to think. I was looking, what album was Life Story on? I'm racking my brain. Let me think. Yeah, back on Black Diamond. And I remember
Life
listening to
Story
that. Yeah,
was
when
on
that hit me, and I thought,
The
wow.
UK version.
Yeah, and I was thinking to myself, what inspired you to write that?
I didn't write Life Story.
Okay.
I demoed Life Story.
Uh-huh.
That was a demo.
But you made it your own. Isn't that interesting?
Always, because
Yeah.
he needed someone that could interpret his lyrics. So technically, you know, he and I both know that, you know, when you take a lyric, if you don't have a melody and someone writes the melody and someone actually shapes the formation of the song, you're just as much a part of a creator of that song as they are. But because he paid me as a demo artist, I never fought him on that, because as a friend, I genuinely wanted to see him succeed, because he was living in the shadows of his cousin, Lenny. So
you kind of been there helping other people as well as moving on in from 2000.
I'm trying to help,
Yeah.
but when helping you start hurting me, we have a problem.
Really? Is that inevitable that you hurt when you help?
Yes.
Really?
When helping you starts hurting me,
Okay.
we have a
Then there's a problem.
Yes.
Okay. So then you have to move on.
Yeah.
Then you have to move on. Okay. So we had Life Story, Black Diamond. We've got Stone. I'm looking at Mahogany Soul, another fantastic CD.
Now that's my life story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that
Mahogany
stage,
Soul.
you had 2 children by that time?
By that, yes.
Yeah, by
I
that
have
time.
2 children by that time, and I'm still not married. Let me clean this up. I was originally married to my daughter's father, who used to be a part of a hip hop group. It was a very short-lived marriage. I was very young, and in my mind, when you get pregnant, you get married. So I got married for a lot of the wrong reasons. I was 20 years old, and after 20 minutes of that marriage, it was like, I got to get out of this.
You realised you was in the wrong place?
Yeah.
20 minutes?
I say 20 minutes. I
Maybe
mean,
22 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That was actually the age, 22.
Really?
Yeah.
So as far as you're concerned, far too young, really, looking back.
Far too young and inexperienced. Hadn't been in love but once or twice prior to that. And puppy love and my high school love. And this was what I thought was going to be an everlasting love, and it wasn't.
Really, but very, very quickly you decided that one wasn't working.
That
and
wasn't
it's best
working.
to get out of that.
Yeah.
Okay, and since then?
I have not married. I have been in love. And I think because I fear, you know, what love can do, especially being a single parent, I've had to really, really focus on providing for my 2 kids. At this part in my life, I did not have a diploma because I was promised a tutor when I left home at 16, basically, to pursue my music career. I found myself alone and scared. And once I got a smidgen of success, I figured I better make sure my children are okay. So I had to meet someone that could rock with me, knowing that she's a single parent and she's out here working to survive. And I think a lot of people, you know, some men want you to give up everything.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I like the idea of a woman just working
Well,
and just paying for everything for me, really. I think that sounds ideal. I mean, I'd be encouraging you to be going out there, to be perfectly frank with you.
a real man...
Especially when you've got this private jet fetish.
Hush.
I'm sorry.
A real man supports his woman no matter what. They go behind you just like a woman goes behind a man and support them. And I've been a supporter all my life. And I was really afraid to walk away from my career and trust a man to take care of me for the rest of my life. And smart of me to do so, because we ended up breaking up somewhere down the line. I said, now what if? Where would I be? Where would my kids be? Both of my kids, my son is in college now. My daughter went to college. You know, when I sit back and I think, it's because I worked so hard.
Yeah, you.
Now, do I have anything? No, because everything I did for my kids.
But would you say you're in a happy place now, as far as that's concerned?
I'm in a much better place. I'm not in a complete place because, of course, I want. You know, I'm at an age now where I think I should be able to just chill and relax. I can't just do that.
Listen, when I look at the tracks, the names of the tracks you've brought, now some of them you've co-written, some you've written, others have been written for you, etc. And it's just a fantastic catalogue. Really, and it's difficult for me to be able to pull out which tracks are even the best ones, yet alone as to which ones you wrote, because you seem to make all of them your own.
Okay, the dreadful part of what you're saying is that you're telling the truth. But yet again, I go back to Jerry DeVoe.
Okay.
When we finally cleared some of the smoke to see what was going on, he had then attached himself so much to me that every album that I recorded through J Records, which means Mahogany Soul, any of my greatest work all went through this fictitious company of his that doesn't exist in my world. And so every dime has gone to him. I've never received a royalty check.
On Black Diamond or
any of it.
Or Mahogany Soul?
Any of it.
Stone Love?
J Records.
The Art of Love and War?
Now, we go to Stacks.
Good, we're getting paid now. That's good. We're getting paid.
Well, we're getting residuals.
Good.
We're getting royalties. But by this time, we're in so much of a hole from taxes and everything else based on the Jerry DeVoe perception.
Yes.
That, you know, you're climbing your way out of a hole.
And you're running to stand still at that point.
Yes. You're in a running position. You know, the one thing that I do have is the fact that people recognize that I do have a gift.
Yes.
But a gift that has been compromised by a thief. And I hate to use that word and associate it with what I would love to say as a friend, but had I known that helping you would be hurting me so much, one would say, my dad would tell me, you need to cut your grass. I would pick my friends more wisely. But yes, everything that we know it to be. Now, there are certain things as writers, publishing, and certain things that are registered through BMI and other ways to get paid. But thanks to my good friend, Mr. Walter Millsap, who has taken on the Dream Project, that is the newest project.
Yes, and we'll come to that
He
in a
has
moment.
now gotten me into a place where things
are being done properly.
Yes.
Should we leave it there and just say being done properly?
Being done properly.
You're being taken care of now, which is fantastic. Now I'm really pleased to hear that, because over the years I'm always hearing so many different stories about people working really hard, producing, creating beautiful work, and then never seeing a dime. So
well, you know, the sad part about it is I came up with a slogan, and I told Walter the other day, I feel like, am I working to live, or am I living to work? You know, so it's one of those things where I'm in a great place because I love the Lord, and I know that He loves me, and He showed me favor. No matter what's being done or they think they can do to me, they can't take that gift. They can't get in the way of relevancy. They can't stop me from, you know.
Have you ever had times where you just wanted to say, listen,
all the time.
Enough.
Oh, yeah.
Enough.
Yeah, I want to get married one day.
Well,
I want to be happy.
Hold on, you can get married and still do music. I hope it doesn't mean a married Angie Stone means a no music Angie Stone.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Doesn't mean that, but
Good.
what it means is I would like the level of normalcy that would allow me to be not necessarily rich, because I can't take back being famous.
Okay.
But I want you know, not just to share that with my children. I want a significant other that can say, babe, it's going to be okay. You don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a young man that's trying to marry me
Only one?
for the time
No.
being, that I'm entertaining.
Oh, that you're entertaining. Oh, okay.
When I say entertaining, I'm just talking. I'm thinking about it. Let me check you out. You know, I'm so...
So he's at the front of the queue? He's at
That's
the
not...
front
No. He's... No.
Well, you
At
said...
the back of the queue.
Oh.
Because, I mean... How can I say this?
Well, listen,
Girls want what they want. Girls
before
want
you
what
say
they
you're going
want.
to say and incriminate yourself, when I told a lot of guys, that I was going to be interviewing you today,
They wanted to marry me? No. See?
marriage didn't come. Well, if you want me to be honest, marriage never. That wasn't the word which sprang to the front. But a lot of them wanted to get to know you. They thought you were absolutely gorgeous, and everybody just wanted to know you and wanted to know more about you. You've got this aura, you've got this charisma about you, which it can't be denied. So literally, it flows through all of your music. It flows through when people watch you being interviewed, etc. And people want to know about you, and people want to know what's she about, and you've got this certain way about you.
And what is it?
If I could only tell you what it was, Angie, I'd be so
can't?
happy. It's difficult. It's one of those words which is difficult. It's charisma, it's aura, and it's mixed with this kind of attraction. So to me, that's like, it's priceless. It's priceless.
Don't say that too loud, you know.
I keep my voice down. But it's true. But it's true. So when I
think
told
you're
guys, they all said literally, they went, oh, wow, now I'd love to get to know her. I'd love to get to know her. She's fantastic. She's really sexy. I'd love to get to know her. I'd love to get to know her.
Well, I'm a hard worker. I'm a person that I won't get involved with a guy because he's just cute. You know, a lot of people got down on me because I've had some very fine pics. And when I say fine pics, I mean literally beautiful on the outside and probably equally beautiful on the inside. But I'm not a person that will, you know, just get with you because you're good looking. Now that has to be somewhat, a part of it I have to be somewhat attracted to you.
Of course.
Physically attracted to you. But I would prefer being the best friend I can be to anybody, because at the end of the day, looks will fade, everything else will fade, and all that you have working for you is who you are on the inside. And one of the things about me, and everybody that knows me, you know, the good-looking guys and the okay guys, they all know I'm real. And you know, a lot of people want to know how and why did this person like her? What is it about her? I couldn't tell you.
I heard something about Idris Elba. And
He's like my brother. He was
I heard it was something a little bit more than that.
No.
So this is pure gossip.
No, it's not gossip.
Okay.
But we never dated.
Okay.
We never crossed that line. I think there was a very
A connection.
mutual connection that we both respect each other so much that we would never disrespect it and step across that line without both being willing.
Yeah.
Idris, I see as a brother because he's one that I would have loved to just have as a best friend in my hip pocket that I could call, because I know there's such an honesty there that I could lean on. It's not hard on the eyes either.
He's not hard on the eyes?
At all. No, he's gorgeous. And
He's okay.
No, he's gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But anyway, I was told by someone that represented us both, and I won't call any names. I was told that they deliberately stood between us, or stood between me knowing how he really felt about me. And I got very upset when I heard that, because I had already dealt with interruption in one relationship.
Okay, I'm with you now. Okay.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So when someone interrupts something that God has an ordinance for, then it goes a way that it shouldn't go. So I just felt like whatever Idris and Angie Stone could have been, be it best of friends, sister and brother, lovers, whatever it could have been, it was interrupted. I mean, I'm not mad at a person anymore, but when I sit back and I look at the big picture, I was overwhelmed to find out that I wasn't in it by myself.
Well,
And when I say I wasn't in it
the
by
attraction was
myself,
mutual.
I was, because sometimes you're on the other side of that thing and you're going like, I'm not saying anything. Nope, I'm just gonna walk a straight line because, But when you find out, it's like, okay. It's almost like when the world thinks that you've had to hoax somebody or you've had to trick them into loving you. I have the greatest joy in knowing people literally assume that I had to trick D'Angelo into loving me. But I have the absolute pleasure of knowing he was crazy about me and it was genuine and nobody can change that. But that, that's between the two of us, and whether anybody, ever speaks on it again, that's a truth that is my truth, and no one can change that.
Well, okay, we'll bring you up to today now with the last album, Dream. Did you write many of the tracks on the album?
I co-wrote.
Okay.
Co-wrote.
So how does it work when you co-write? Do you all sit down in a big room and throw together stuff, or is it like people send things back and forward by email and say, check this verse out? And seriously, everybody works in different ways nowadays, so I'm just fascinated.
In this instance, we get on a conference call.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there we are.
And I'll tell Walter what I want to do. Walter will say, hold on, let me get this partner, that partner, that partner. Hey, Ange got an idea. Ange, sing the part, sing what you want to do, that kind of thing. And it's like building blocks, we build. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do something different is because it's been 40 years. I've been writing for 40 years.
So when you say that just doesn't compute. When you say 40 years and I look at you, I think, what? How?
Well, look at Shaka Khan. She's drop dead gorgeous.
I've never had the pleasure of meeting Shaka.
You will one day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. But the thing is, so many of our greatest artists get stuck in time and stuck on one hit. I thought personally that even though neo soul is great, I think soul music is greater because it's not stuck in a box. I felt like when they went neo soul, the whole world spun on its axis for a second, and everybody started playing the same chords and progressions over and over and over, trying to create a new song. And I said, I just don't want to just be stuck in that pool, because I've proven myself in that department.
You have.
What can we do now? So one of the things was teaming up with younger writers, people that are speaking today's language, in order to resonate to not just a younger audience, but keeping my core fan base, doing, some of the songs that I was completely responsible for. You guys notice it right away because it's the one you guys just gravitate to.
I love Two Bad Habits. Magnet hit me hard. Gorgeous
That's
track.
my favorite.
Gorgeous track.
That's one of my favorites.
Were you part of the writing team for Magnet?
Yes.
Okay. And what else wrote? The actual title track, Dream as well. Dream as well said something to me as well.
All of the songs are co-writes, but Think It Over has more of me on it. Did You Forget About Me?
Yeah.
It has more of me on it.
Where did you forget about me? I was asked to ask you, who was that about?
Well, there's a hidden clue in the song.
Is there? Because I heard a name in that.
You
song.
did?
I did.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What
okay.
name did you hear?
I thought I heard Anyway, I'm not going to mention the name now. I've decided I'm not going to mention that name. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it to the viewers to work that one out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard a name. So you had someone in mind when you wrote that track.
Well, actually, the person or the energy that actually helped me to come up with the song was God himself. I woke up one morning and I was feeling, my dad would say, you're throwing a pity party, your own pity party. I was feeling a bit down and I asked in my spirit, because I was told to never question God. But the question in my heart was, God, did you forget about me? Because I was laying there thinking, how is it that this man has taken my entire career and gotten paid, and I'm still working so hard? You know, did you forget about me, God?
I got that.
So that was the question in my heart, like, you didn't just leave me here.
Did you get an answer?
Yes.
Good. That's the important.
The answer came in a phone call from Bishop Noel Jones. Same time that I was having this feeling, he called me and he had never called my phone ever. And my manager told me, say, he bugged me like tooth and nail to get your phone number. So he says, are you okay, child? He says, God just wants you to know. And when he did that, I got up and I went to the kitchen and I started singing, because I don't know why I started singing. Did you forget about me? Did you forget about me? Did you? And then I called Walter. I said, Walter, I said, you ain't gonna believe what happened. I said, Bishop Noel Jones just called me, and I said, I was just laying in bed, and I had just asking God, did he forget about me? And I came up with this, so I just started singing. Walter said, hold that thought.
Great.
And he got the third person
Great.
on the phone.
Great.
And then he said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you know, like when you love somebody, and the story changed for me at that point. And that love was like interrupted by something. And you know that you were supposed to have a different destiny with this person. And there was an interruption somewhere. And before you knew it, it just started to
blossom.
Well, just like in the lyric when they say you were love interrupted. Did you really forget about me?
Well, listen, I'm hoping that the viewers actually go out and get this album.
They will.
The album's called Dream, and it's you back on form as far as I'm concerned. Really.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying it. It really is. It's you back on form. It's great. And we're running out of time, and there's so many things I want to talk to you about. I heard you're a biker, that you ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that for one brief moment.
I do. I have
can't
a
see that.
three-wheel. I won't get on a two-wheel.
I've heard so many different things about you, which we're going to have to talk about on next time you come over.
We got to do a part two.
We're gonna do a part two.
I'm still here, you know.
Yeah. Well, listen. Even if we run out of time now, because there's people queuing up to speak to you after us.
I know.
So, but before you go, there's one little thing I want to do.
Sure.
There's one little thing. I thought about you being a biker and doing some strange stuff. So, so we have a little gift for you. That's for you. You have to open it now, and you have to look at it. I know, it's something which we like to give to people who we think have given a lot to us, and it's not very much.
It's like, now it goes back to my...
Do you have problems with this?
It goes back to my buddy Idris. I saw where he's a speed racer now.
Can you
see
this has actually got? Can you not? You know what? I think it's been designed so it won't come out of the bag.
Don't say that.
Oh no.
It's got to come out.
Well,
of the
no,
bag.
let's try and see what we can do. Hold on. There we are. There we are. And it's just something for when you have a bad hair day.
Oh wow!
When you have a bad hair day, and you're thinking to yourself, "What shall I do now?" You can put your big sunglasses on.
Oh yeah.
Look, if you look on the side there, when you can put your.
Oh, how amazing!
And look inside as well, Angie. Look inside, just in case your daughter picks it up and says it's hers.
You know what?
We think about everything. We think of everything, Angie.
OMG. You know, I don't want to mess up this bushy whooshy on my head, but I got.
You got to mess it up.
I got to
mess it up. You
got to mess it up, right? I got to stick this on because that's how ballers do. You want to take?
Yeah.
Even though I'm wearing silver.
Look at that. Yeah, you're wearing silver when we put gold on, but look at that. Look at that. Now look at the face. Look at that face.
Thank you. This is amazing. OMG.
It's what we do. But listen, I've got to thank you for all of the time. And more importantly, I've got to thank you for your beautiful music which you've given us really over the years. We really appreciate it. We will have a part 2.
That's right.
Next
Let's
time you're here,
do
we're
it.
going to lock you down and
Why
make sure
gotta
we have...
wait till I come back?
I know you can't
Are
wait
you
to
too
see me.
busy for me?
We are very busy people, Angie.
You're too busy for me.
There is a queue for us, Angie.
Wait a minute, you are too busy for me?
I'm not saying that, Angie. But there is a queue.
It's just like the men in my life.
I'm
It's
sorry.
always a story.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
just kidding.
All right, but listen, thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, that's right.
There we are. That's
Okay.
right. And we'll do this again another time. Thank you.
Promise.
Okay. Thank you. Cut, guys.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you so much.
I know you probably had a whole bunch of stuff. This is beautiful.
No, that's for you. That's definitely.
Thank
you can see we've had it.